Hey all, Binks here, and today we're making big broods. The featured card today is Brood, a 3 energy 2 power that adds 2 broodlings to this location with the same power. So essentially you want to get the brood as big as possible so that the buffs pass on to those tokens that get created. We also have Mr. Sinister in the deck, which is a 2 energy 2 power that adds 1 clone, and Mysterio, which is a 2 energy 5 power that works a little bit differently. It's going to play a Mysterio on all 3 locations. They're going to start with their base power, which is usually 0, but if we buff it up, let's say +4, then each of the Mysterios will have 4 power, and then the one that you decided to play will get +5 at the very end of the game. So we're going to need to buff these up with this deck. So we have Nakia, a 3 energy 1 power, which gives all cards in your hand +2 power. We have Forge, which will give the next card you play +2 power. Do note that this does not work with Mysterio. It will only do it to the leftmost Mysterio. Won't work with all 3 of them. And then we also are going to have a Koye in this deck. The Okoye that you'll see in these videos were pre-nerf, but now it's a 2 energy 2 power with on reveal give every card in your deck +2 power. I would still run a Okoye in this deck even after the nerf, but it used to be a 1 energy 1 power with the same on reveal. To get these buffs even bigger, we are running Wong and Psylocke. Psylocke is going to give us +1 energy if we play her on turn 2, which can get us to Wong on turn early. Wong is going to be a 4 energy 2 power that doubles our on reveals at that location. So we can double our Nakia buffs, we can double our Forges. Really just big ways to get our Broods and Brood-like cards as big as possible. To fill out the deck, we have Ant-Man, which is going to do great because we're going to fill a lot of locations. Nightcrawler, which works awesome if you get buffs on it, and it could jump to a bad location that you can't really get to. We also have Patriot in here because we have so many tokens that we're going to play. On average, you're getting maybe 3 different token cards, and if you get 3 token cards out there, Patriot just acts as a 3 energy 7 power card. So really strong. And then to fill things out, we have Iron Man, because with these big cards, Iron Man's going to secure one of those locations if we have enough power on it, making us focus on the other 2 and just trying to win 1. I really love playing this deck. I think that the Okoye nerf is going to hurt it a little bit, but overall it seems to run really nicely. Being able to make huge copies of different cards felt awesome. I think that especially because there was nerfs to a lot of other decks in the format, this deck would actually be really good to do a solid showing on ladder, and definitely had a positive cube rate with it. I'm going to start saying cube rate instead of win rate because, you know, it's if you gain cubes or lose cubes over a various session, not necessarily your wins and losses that matter a lot. But yeah, this deck is awesome. Definitely give it a try. I think it's going to work well, and it's really fun to make some big old broods out there. As always, if you're enjoying this content, make sure you hit the like button. It really helps me a lot. If you love more Marvel Snap content, post here every single weekday, so make sure to hit me with a subscribe and catch me live over at twitch.tv/binks_plays. Enjoy. Okay, we don't have any 6 cost cards. This is pretty bad for us. Maybe we can vibe on turn 1. We have our Psylocke Wong, so if we get our Nakia, we're kind of off to the races here. Still got a few draws for a Nakia. We can realistically play her on turn 5 and still be okay as long as we're planning things out right. Nakia 4 cards. Got our Nakia, so this is huge. So this is kind of the whole point of the deck. We have Psylocke and Wong in here to try and get an early Nakia and really blow up. Yeah, the Kazoo deck, I mean, it's just really good. I mean, it's okay. It's a very solid deck. Elite DLM finally got around to checking out the stream, but I've been watching YouTube uploads for a while on the Snap content. Thank you, thank you. Glad that you're enjoying. We'll get Wong out there. Get our double Nakia going. Hopefully we draw like a Brood or a Mysterio next turn would be our 2 best draws. Iron Man's totally fine too. A 4 power Iron Man kind of slaps hard. We're gonna snap on him now before they see the Nakia come down. Alright, so we're going to get well ahead here. So we want to be as efficient as we possibly can with our mana for the rest of the game. So we're running kind of slim on it. I think it just comes down to Mr. Sinister Patriot this turn, and then a Nightcrawler Iron Man. Trying to think of which, which places we should really be looking to win. Our 4-power Iron Man is going to make it pretty hard to lose one of the locations. I think we Mr. Sinister right. This is hard because they have an Angela out there, but they only put an Okoye on it, so it's definitely able to be beaten. It's not something that's like unstoppable. Maybe we Patriot center. Try and get ahead enough here that we can beat them. Try that. Okay, this is perfect actually. So them not playing to the center is really big for us. So now we can just Iron Man over here on the right, blow them out, no matter what they try and do. Problem is that they're moving over a 4-power Nakia here. Or a 4-power Nightcrawler here. So 6-power might not be enough. They have Chavez, we still beat it. And we just blow them out here with the Iron Man. We could think about putting the 6-power here, but like anything they play on Angela would then beat us, whereas this Iron Man's gonna blow them out. I think that they'll probably like try and play something big here. Like maybe if they have a Chavez, they'll drop it here. That's not gonna be enough to beat us here. So I still feel very confident, and I'm happy that we snapped. I think that we'll win middle and right. Yep. Sometimes you just get called out. Sometimes you just get absolutely called out. You love to see it.
I am Iron Man.
Those are the games that it's really... I feel like the biggest thing I have to get better at in this game is like figuring out what locations to go for and planning it out a couple turns ahead. Because if you can kind of like think about where they're gonna play and you sculpt towards that, like if you put yourself in their shoes, very important part of this game, I would say overall. That was a good game. GG's. I'm ready. I don't know about y'all. I'm ready to be disappointed in what the Nexus events are like. My disappointment is mounting, chomping at the bit to bask in that disappointment. I think we hold. I have a pretty low cost hand, so we don't have to worry too terribly much about pumping cards out too quickly. Yeah, I'm ready to be hurt. I'm ready to be hurt again. Okay. Fortunately, I think we're still holding. This might be a hold. Wait for something good that buffs our deck, and then bail. Is there a max amount of gold you can save? I have no idea. I doubt it, but definitely could. So we have all the cards that need to be buffed, and nothing that buffs them. Not an ideal situation. I think I'm okay with putting Patriot in the negative zone. We'll just throw that for the minute. We'll throw it for a little bit, hang out throwing, and then maybe move it over to New York. Kind of scared about what they're gonna do with this Iron Fist here, though. Maybe it's a Vulture. Yeah. Much better in the negative zone than my Patriot. Man, I will never get over how cool that new Iron Fist animation is. They got Electro, which is very bad for them. I got Armanzol, which is almost worse. This card doesn't do anything. I'm happy I waited so long to get this Nakia because it'll be worth it. I'm gonna snap on him. They sound like they want to get out of this game, so I will oblige them if they'd like. Throw the Nakia there. Clown Killer. Welcome. Thanks so much for the follow. Locking the best follower notification on all of Twitch.tv. Everyone in chat sends their regards. I think this turn is a Forge Brood turn. This feels like a Forge Brood turn. And maybe we just throw X-Mansion. I can figure it out from there. Pretty damn close at keeping up with them, which is cool. So they're probably going to move Vulture to New York, right? Or they have a pretty good chance of moving Vulture to New York. Then we play Mysterio. Mr. Sinister. Want to play something instead of this Mysterio buff? So I'm going to play Nightcrawler here too. This will be 4. No, I think we definitely... We can move all this garbage over here. Let me do this. Problem is that they have a Doctor Strange and they pull it to the right. I don't think I can beat that. I have 23. I don't think I have a way of beating that. There's a 1 in 4 chance that they just don't have it. It's fine. Who's Chavez? We beat Chavez on the right. See, we played around them very, very well that game, I feel. Credits capped at 5K. They used to be capped at 2,000, yeah. Alright, GG's. Our opponent got Electrode. Not great for them. Fantastic for us. Love to see it. Made my Nakia cost 4, which is really annoying. Still gonna play it on turn 4. Probably just hold my hand, almost hold my hand until then. I'm glad I held my hand. Look at that, getting rewarded. I think I still hold. My hand's small enough. If I knock you on 4, I still have room for like 4 more power over the next 2 turns. This is gonna be good because they already have their Nightcrawler here and it's unbuffed. I will play out my Okoye though. See, Okoye gives us 1 power now and 2 power potentially in the future, or 3 power potentially in the future. Whereas just it getting a +2 buff is fine. Plus, maybe I don't because I'm gonna have some board space issues. Am I really just Psycho holding until turn 4 for Nakia? I think I might be Psycho holding until turn 4 for Nakia. I'm gonna Psycho hold until turn 4 for Nakia. That's fine. I wanted to only play 1 card this turn anyway. The problem is going to be is that they have Odin, because Odin can really mess me up. It won't destroy me, but it really messes me up. It really does not make this an easy game. Because then I probably play out Stereo. I have to play the Nightcrawler if they Odin this wave. Then I think I should have waited. Okay, this is really bad. It's not all for naught. I absolutely shouldn't have snapped there until I saw what was happening. That was a terrible play. They didn't Odin it though, and they can't Odin it, which is fine. But we still have plays because we can win Sanctum Sanctorum pretty easily, and we still have a decently beefy hand. It might require us to get Might require us to get, do we have enough time to play Patriot? I think we have enough time to play Patriot. Patriot's just going to be good enough. 5 power. It's 5 power plus it's going to give us most likely +2 power. And I think we get the Ant-Man out there. Jubilee. Let's see if they high roll. That's a high roll, but it's not an unbeatable high roll. So our Mysterio is thick. Our Iron Man is probably our better play though. So we're gonna move over Nightcrawler, and then we play Iron Man and a Koye. That's gonna give us 8, 13, 16, 32. It's gonna be really hard to beat. It's gonna be really hard to beat by our opponent. Plus, I don't think they can beat this Nightcrawler over here. So I'm feeling good. They don't have like an infinite potential or anything like that. I think we feel really good. And I already snapped when I absolutely shouldn't have. But it was kind of like one of those YOLO snaps, you know? I've seen Sarah turn 1 off that before. How would that work? Is it oh, that's the one that plays a card from your hand? Oh, GG's.
I am Iron Man.
Yeah, but I mean that's more fine because at least they're running Sarah in their deck and they got like rewarded for it. That's okay. When it's a completely random card off X Mansion, it feels much worse, IMO. But it is still very good, and still like I said, I think it's a top 3 maybe high roll. I think like Giganto and Infinite are probably the only ones I'd rather have on turn 3. You can also get the double Nakiad and then double forged like Brood or Mr. Sinister. That one feels real good. Okay, Sinister London with Nakia, obviously solid. Plus we're gonna be able to play with the Iron Man. Koye Sinister London is not that good. I feel like it was much better when she was a 2-cost card. +9. Thanks so much for the follow. Lock the best follower notification on all twitch.tv. So we can even kind of do the does Forge work like that? If I play does anyone know if I play Forge on Sinister London, will it forge its copy first, or will both of them forge my next card? Any helpers in chat? Because we can get an absolutely monstrous Brood here. Wow, we don't even have to take up space with Sinister London. That's pretty sick. Both will buff the next card. Love to see it. Don't even have to do it, but I'm happy to know.
Oh, snap.
I guess I can try and do Sinister London and then hope it lands in Camartage, which is probably a bigger payoff, but I have a lot of cards that swarm right now, so I think that just getting it on Camartage is just the better play. Skipped on turn 3. And I played a Nakia on 5 cards. It's much better for me. So I think here, I think we want to get 2 Ant-Mans down. I think we're actually... I don't think we want to play 2 Nightcrawlers because that could mess up. So let's say we play 2 Nightcrawlers. Yeah, if they both land here, we mess up our Forge. So I think we can just fine with playing a Nightcrawler here, and then we Forge. And then next turn we're gonna play out the biggest Brood you ever did see. I could actually like low key, I might just play the Brood in Sinister London. I actually don't know how that would work though. If no, because it plays a copy of it. This is gonna be pretty sick. I'm pretty excited to see what happens here. Okay, so they're gonna Ghost Rider. Okay, chat, hear me out. I'm gonna play a rock here, which seems bad, but I think what that will do will force Brood to play in both Sinister London and here, and then I just get a vibe for the next turn. Or maybe... No, I can just move Nightcrawler here, and then on the last turn I can... I'll just move the Nightcrawler here, and then I'll play the biggest Brood anyone's ever seen, and then I can Iron Man this location afterwards. Love to see it. Love to see it. It's a big old brood right there. Hey, we're only gonna play one card anyway. I think we already snapped, right? Those are some big broods. That's a big old brood right there. We gotta retreat, right? Look at the ridiculous size of my board. They're calculating, which is a little bit scary. But I just can't imagine how they went on multiple multiple of these locations. That's a 60 power brood. Yeah, GG's.
Victory.
Hard to beat a 60 power brood. Oh. Okay, Onslaught Citadel is really good if we get Wong, because we're gonna absolutely pop off if we get Wong in the next 2 draws. We get Wong in the next 2 draws where we're gonna pop off. We have Washington DC 2. That's pretty pog. I think we still just play out the Psylocke, hoping that we get the Wong next turn. We also have Iron Man for Onslaught Citadel, which is gonna do some big work. Turn off our super flow, which would have been nice, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Oof. So I think that with no... That's rough. That one hurts. So we can get Patriot and Iron Man over on Onslaught and feel pretty good. Jubilee on 3 versus Naki on 3. Probably playing a bigger deck than us. So the super flow is going to help them out a lot, and I don't have any way to change it, which is pretty tough. They're snapping on us. I don't feel like I'm in too bad of a position. I feel like I can still win Washington DC. I definitely feel like I can still win Washington DC. They'll probably hold on to the super flow too long. As long as they don't have their own Iron Man, we should be fine on Onslaught Citadel. They haven't Naki'd yet, so we'll see. Yeah, I would love a draft mode. I think a draft mode's definitely going to come out. Hopefully quite soon, too. Maybe we just play our hand and play the Iron Man out here. And then... And we can play all 3 of these cards and fill up all these board spaces, right? So we're going to have plays. Like Triple Brood Ant-Man beats what they have in the middle. It's all going to depend on this turn, though. Like, we beat an Infinite with this Iron Man, I'm pretty sure.
Iron Man.
Ooh, we're just behind. I think that's okay. The problem is like, do we want to Ant-Man or Brood to try and win that? We can get it to 10 power here, which should be pretty good against most of what they're playing. We have a Patriot, so it actually beats almost everything. I think we just Ant-Man to be safe. They can get some Sunspot shenanigans going. I'd rather just blow them out here. And we can still Brood here, just for... Because the Brood actually beats this, right? Because the Brood is going to be at 3 power and then 2 7 powers. I think we win. I think we win every time.
Oh, snap.
It's going to be really hard for them to beat us on 2 of these locations. They never expect the Ben Brode. Never expect it. Why have I gotten so many Washington DCs? I feel like this is like my 4th or 5th Washington DC game. They extended the play. Oh, that's a little spooky. Dude, they bamboozled me. I've been completely and utterly bamboozled. I still have some work to do though. I mean, they still do be having some work to do. This gets me up to 26 here. He beat me by 12 with 7 power. They have a couple swarms that they can play for free. Hmm. 210 power? Not 8 power. Close enough though. That was painful. I guess it would have been 10 power with the Patriot buff. That is true. I'm really bad with my Patriot logic. Very bad with my Patriot logic. Just gonna beat me out. Very tight though. Very tight game. Man, that magic on the Onslaught Citadel was back-breaking. Good game, Fiddly D.
Defeat.
Okay. Give me a Psylocke. Give me a Psylocke off the rip. The people have been waiting for a Wong Nakia game. Let's give it to him. You piece. Okay. So now we need to plan out the rest of our game. So I think we hold and then we knock in next turn. A lot of times people will destroy the Mindscape. Psylocke, you're just a hair late. Just a hair late, girl. Just a hair late, sweetheart. Yo, GG, friend. That was a very unfortunate electro pull. Seemed to make your game not super fun. Oh, that's a fire outfit. Okay. So this turn I think is just a Forge Sinister. I think we can even play it here. It's like a sneaky surprise. Problem is I can't. Ooh, Mr. Negative deck. I guess I can fill up one spot over here and be okay with it. Problem is I really don't want to fill up 2 spots over here, which is why I don't want to mess with this Nakia. But it's just brooding good. Or does Brood put us in a bad position? Maybe just Psylocke Ant-Man is fine. Gives us some extra stuff next turn. They can get this Brood and they can play it. It works a lot better for them with their positioning than it does for me. Man, I'm scared they're gonna do some crazy Mr. Negative shenanigans. Okay, so we know they have a 3-cost Brood. I have my Patriot. I have an Ironheart. So I probably want to play 2 3s, right? I think I want to Wolfsbane here to try and lock down this location. The problem is I don't think we're going to win Mindscape. So I kind of want to do something that's going to help Mindscape. So I think that's Ironhearting here. Let me just play Patriot over here to buff our Mr. Sinister. That's just like not good enough. Maybe like YOLO Rogue, but Rogue's gonna go first, so it doesn't really make sense. I think a Patriot there's fine. I'm not gonna snap and I'm not gonna retreat. I think this will be enough. But they could have some weird Armanzola shenanigans going on over here. Long Jubilee, man, that is painful. They played Magic twice. That was crazy looking. So this gives us... I don't really want to cover up this location too much. This will give us 9 over here, which gives us 11. Man, we're going to be just short if we do that. Be at 14 here. But maybe with this buff. So we have 1, 2... So we'd have a 2 out of 8 chance. They could also not play a card and get the Sunspot buff. Not that it matters too terribly much. Or I can force the White Tiger over here and give us a better chance of winning Dark Dimension. Seems like a pretty good play. There's no... I can rogue... I could rogue and double Wolfsbane? Is that good? I'll give this 9. No, that's less power I would generate, but I'll get more power over here out of it. 12. I would tie here if I did this, but then they have to play all 7 power. It doesn't seem good, but it's kind of like... Oh, wait, I can do it in the other order. What am I doing? Wait, no, that's actually sick. That's a Pog play right there. Oh, well, thank God, because... Give me that Wong. That's my doubles. Let me play the double Wolfsbane to pop off. Oh, that's really satisfying right there. Okay, Iron Man's spooky, but I think I still win over here. And I guess I just win middle anyway. I think I still win this. This gives me... We're gonna win all 3 locations? Oh, baby. Plus the Ironheart. Oh, that was a good one right there. That was a good one right there.
Victory.
So... Make sure to subscribe. Watch that one too.